guys, my name's Nicci. Welcome to my channel. So this channel, Nicci Ricci Fit, is going to be all about my wellness journey, fitness, mental health, just general well-being. What has finally happened and why I am finally making it is I have gotten to the point where I feel like I need help. So over the past few years, really a long time, I have done a lot of different things. I have had times where I was super fit, and then I've had times like now where I'm literally the heaviest that I have ever been. But right now, pretty much what has, like I said, inspired me to make this video is in a few days I'm actually going to go get the gastric balloon. It's called the OBALON, and it is basically a non-invasive medical tool that you can get at your doctor's office that will help you lose weight. And instead of having like the gastric bypass or getting a sleeve put in where they literally cut you open and make your stomach smaller so that it holds less food, this is something that is, like I said, a balloon. So you swallow this balloon, they inflate it, and it takes up room in your stomach. So the OBALON procedure is literally a little, it's a capsule. It looks like a really big pill, like maybe a big giant, horse vitamin. And you go into the doctor, they have your pill, and they'll have a long skinny catheter, super tiny little catheter attached to it. So when you swallow it, it goes all the way down into your stomach with the catheter coming up through your throat and out of your mouth. And then once it's in your stomach, they inflate the balloon. Your stomach lining eats through the capsule that it's in, and then you have just a balloon free floating, and they expand it with gas. And with the OBALON, you actually get 3 balloons over time. Eventually you have 3 balloons filling up your stomach. You leave them in for a total of 6 months, from the first balloon. So 6 months total. The timing of the second and third one don't impact that 6 months. So for 6 months, you have basically a smaller pocket that can fit food into it. Now, do I know how to diet? Do I know how to exercise? Yeah, I do know these things. But there is just something that has been something different. Maybe really I thought that I knew these things, and I've come to find out that I need help. So when I say that I've had different times where I was super fit, looking back now, what I have figured out is that I was living a very particular lifestyle that helped me be that way. One of literally the best shape I was ever in my entire life. I was studying overseas. And so I spent 6 months living abroad, lived in student housing, and, had an amazing time. Literally, oh my God. I was homesick for not home when I came back for a really long time. I was in New Zealand, if you're curious where I was. So whenever I lived in New Zealand, I walked everywhere, literally everywhere. I walked to school. I walked to the store. Sometimes it would be a 30, 45, 60-minute walk, and there, just one way, and then you have to walk back. So I didn't use a lot of public transportation, mostly because I have a terrible sense of direction and felt like I would end up taking a bus 10 stops past where I was supposed to be and then getting like really freaked out and not being able to get home. So I just walked everywhere. At the same time, food is very expensive in New Zealand. It was way too expensive for me to eat out ever. I never bought fast food because I literally couldn't afford it. I could barely afford my groceries, honestly. I would have to walk to the store if I bought like a gallon of milk or whatever I bought I had to carry home. And then I also started doing the insanity workouts with a bunch of friends. And then I joined the Nike running club, which is a running club that is based out of the Nike store. I don't know if we have them here in the United States. I know that there's not any in my area, but there's not a lot of outdoor running clubs in my area in general. But anyway, so you would meet at the Nike store, and then they would have Nike employees who would lead the groups on a 5K or a 10K run. And so I did that a couple times a week as well. So I was running, I was working out, I was walking everywhere, I was eating super, super clean because it's literally all that I could afford. And that is when I was in the best shape of my life. Nowadays, I work full-time. I live in a heavy metroplex, but not in a city with a lot of public transportation, not in a place where things are crammed together. It takes a long time to walk to the store. Not that there aren't some stores close to me, but I couldn't do everything I needed to do if I just wanted to walk. Another time that I was super fit and, super just in shape and loving my body, loving my energy levels, loving how great I felt all the time is when I worked at a gym. So as you can imagine, I worked out a lot. I worked in a boxing gym and I would do classes. I would, take all of my friends' classes who were trainers. I would just show up and work out. Loved working there, but it was really a part-time job for me. I still had a full-time job and I was still a full-time student. I just worked there because I was already going and working out there, and I thought, I might as well get a free membership, make some extra money, and work out, and that's what I did. And so that's the second time in my life where I was in really great shape. The third time, the most recent time that I was able to maintain a high level of fitness was whenever I was a restaurant manager. So I worked in a restaurant for 4 years. It's a high volume restaurant. It's near an event center, multiple event centers. We would get really busy, saw thousands of guests a week. Average 10 million plus in sales a year. So it's a big store, big restaurant. I'll say big restaurant, a lot of guests, high volume, high stress on top of that. So in my 10-12 hour shift, I was clocking 6 to 10 miles a day. And that was just normal. It was just normal. So any workouts that I did on top of that, and I did work out on top of that, you're burning. You are burning. Now I have the job that I want, which is a desk job. It's not that I wanted a desk job, but it's in the industry that I wanted to be in. I graduated with my master's and I finally got hired in a job that I did want to be in. But now I sit for 8 hours a day. And that has contributed a lot to me putting on weight in the last 6 months. That's how long I've been there. And I just kind of fell off, and I fell off of my eating. Not terrible. I don't eat like a total slob. I take salads for lunch. I drink smoothies in the morning, but something in there, I don't know what it is exactly that I'm doing wrong. And I've kind of fallen off on my working out because previously, whenever I worked at the gym, whenever I worked at the restaurant, you don't keep a normal schedule. So I like to work out like mid-morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. That is the best workout as far as I'm concerned. I can't do that anymore. Obviously, I'm at work already, and I don't want to get up at 4:30 in the morning to make my 5 a.m. workout, which I could, but if I don't even wake up to my alarm, I'm sorry, the workout's not getting done. I also started working in a new city. So I still live in the same city, but all of my workout programs, classes, everything that I have access to is not in the same city. So for a while, I was trying to walk out the door at 5 o'clock on the dot, haul through traffic, and get to my workout, and it was not working. I was spending 30, 40 minutes in traffic trying to reach there, hot, stressed, annoyed by the time I get there, not having a great workout, not feeling good, and so I've kind of fallen off doing that as well. So here we are, I'm at the biggest that I've ever been. So for reference, I am 5 feet and 4 inches tall, and I weigh about 175. Sometimes, give or take a few pounds, but typically about 175. So if you do the math, that's a 29 to 30% BMI. And 30% is considered obese. In order to even qualify for this procedure that I'm going to do, it's 30 to 40% BMI. So what it is, like I said, you swallow a capsule, they inflate these balloons in your stomach. These balloons are literally, they're like the size of a small orange. They're pretty good size. 250 cc's fully inflated. And you get 3 over the course of, a couple months, and then you have them for the 6 months total. So that's 750 cc's. That is practically your entire stomach. So I had my consultation, and what happened is I went to the doctor, asked about the procedure, did a free consultation, and he explained everything to me, and then said, you know, in order to qualify in the first place, you have to be able to swallow this capsule. And then he turns around and he's got this giant, like I said, big giant, I don't know, horse-sized vitamin. And I was like, you know, I gotta see you swallow it. You know, I gotta make sure you can. And I'm like, all right, you know, so I do that. Goes down fine. They take you in, make you stand in front of an x-ray machine, take a shot of the solution, and they watch it go down, and they make sure that you don't have a hiatal hernia. If you do, you cannot get this procedure done. And then after that, you know, they just give you some reading information and tell you to call them if you want to schedule it. So I decided that I am going to go through with it. So one of the things that you are committing to with this program is that you will show up once a month, meet with a dietitian, and they will give you an individualized, you know, nutrition plan. So yeah, I'm looking forward to learning. And that is one of the biggest reasons why I want to do it. I want the head start with the procedure, but I really want the lifestyle change and the learning that comes with it. I want that component of it because I want to be able to maintain. I don't want to feel like I've reached the point where I need to do something like this again. I'm hoping to track my progress, talk about what it's like, how my results are, you know, any side effects that I experience, things that go right, things that go wrong, things maybe later on that I wish I had known or thought about. I don't know yet. I decided I would get my medications that they prescribed me, so I could tell you a little bit about those. So as far as like what they have prescribed me, 4 medications. The first one is diazepam, also known as Valium, which can be used to treat anxiety, but also be used to treat muscle spasms. So I guess in the first few days, if my stomach is spasming, trying to adjust to this balloon in it, that's what these are for. Let's see, I have omeprazole. These, 1 capsule by mouth every day. These are for like gastric reflux. They help you not produce as much acid in your stomach, hopefully to prevent you getting a stomach ulcer or something like that. Let's see. So, ondansetron. This is an anti-nausea medication. And then finally, hyoscyamine, I don't know. This one is the only one that is a little bit scary. So I was reading common uses with your packet. It is used to slow the speed in the stomach and the GI tract. So that was not something that I was aware was part of the treatment, so that's interesting. So it's used to treat muscle spasms of the GI tract, gallbladder system, or urinary system. It is also used to treat a runny nose. So pretty much what I'm doing here is I already wanted to start a channel, document my wellness and fitness journey, like I said. But I figured it would be a good time to start by starting with this as the beginning. This is my, you know, fresh start and restart, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to be here with the OBALON. And I know, you know, when I was looking at the OBALON, that I looked for videos, people who had done gastric balloons, specifically the OBALON, but they do have another kind. I wanted to see what people said about it, see what their experiences were, and there's not a whole lot available of people talking about it and what it was really like. Of course, I hope it's an amazing experience and that it goes great and nothing goes wrong, but at the end of the day, it is a medical procedure. Things can go wrong. A lot of things, you know, I read all of the warnings. There are possible side effects like nausea, cramping, up to, you know, getting an ulcer, tearing a hole in your stomach lining. Not that these things happen a lot, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like there is no risk, because there's always a risk. So I am looking forward to updating everyone, tracking my progress. I'm going to make sure that I take before pictures, measurements, and, you know, let you guys know what kind of foods I'm eating, what kind of exercise I'm doing, and what it even feels like to swallow this capsule and have something inflated inside of you. So that's everything that I am hoping to do with this channel, and I really look forward to sharing everything with you guys and, you know, hopefully helping somebody make a decision or help them feel inspired or just entertained or whatever. So thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.